Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today on my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen's Crafts, and today I thought I'd bring you something a little bit different. Normally you'll see scrapbooking items on my channel, and today I thought I'd bring you another craft. We're just going to go ahead and make this little yarn gnome, and I thought it'd be fun to show you. I did this craft with my grandson yesterday. He's 7 and did pretty good with it. And so I thought maybe if you guys wanted to see how to make this, I would go ahead and show you the steps. So what you're going to need to make the gnome is you will need a toilet paper or paper towel roll, and you're going to go ahead and mark it into 1-inch little sections there. You'll also need some yarn and some wooden beads for the nose, and then either cotton balls or polyfill, whichever you have around the house. I have some polyfill, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. You will also need, this is optional, but I grabbed from Hobby Lobby some little decorations or scrapbooking items that you can use, like to put a little decoration on the hat, twine to hang the ornament from your tree, and then you're going to need something to measure or wrap. So for the hat, you need about 1 foot long pieces. And so this is just a, I think it's like a 6-inch or 6 1/4 inch, just a Fiskars quilting square that I'll use to wrap around. And then you also need, for the beard, you'll need about 7 inches cut in folded in half, and so I just use this mat to wrap around. So what we're going to do first of all to get going is we are going to start out with wrapping around the quilt square. So I'm just going to go ahead and start it to begin with, and then I'll put you on pause and come back. You're going to go and wrap it about 50 times or so. What we're going to be doing is taking this and using these strings to make the hat. So I'm going to go ahead off camera, finish wrapping it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have it wrapped around pretty good, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the end off. The nice thing is if I didn't cut enough of these pieces, no worries, because then we can just go ahead and cut more. So what you're going to do is just slide your scissors underneath, and you're going to cut straight across. And this is going to make each one of the strands approximately 1 foot long. Okay. So now that we have all of our strands, we can just go ahead and place them. And I have, just where we started, those, the ones were a little bit little. I'll just throw that to the side. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to take your paper towel roll. Now I've already used my mat, and I've measured out 1 inch. And you're just going to go ahead and take your scissors and try and cut straight and make some 1-inch rings out of either your paper towel or your toilet paper roll, whichever you have handy. So I've already got these, so this will work perfect here. Whichever. So you can get a bunch out of I think you can get like 7 of them out of a toilet paper, or I mean a paper towel, and maybe 7 or 3 out of a toilet paper roll, depending on the size. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of the strands of yarn that you cut. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to take the loop end through your paper towel ring, and then you're just going to bring the ends through and loop it on. You're going to do this so that it goes all the way around the paper towel holder. And what this is going to make is the brim of your hat, and then the hat itself. So again, we're just looping them on. Make sure that the little loops are going in the same direction. Just makes it look cleaner. You can use any yarn that you have around the house. I think the one person I saw making them used a worsted weight. I just grabbed whatever leftover crochet yarn I had in the house that had the Christmas colors. So I don't think there's anything, you know, special that you need to get. Just grab whatever colors that you like to decorate with. I think these would be really cute for like if you're giving your Christmas gifts away to tie onto the packages, so everyone can get one of these little gnome ornaments. That's kind of my plan that I'm going to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue on. As you can see, it starts to make the brim of the hat. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, finish looping these around, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have all of the yarn going all the way around, the next thing you're going to do is you are going to turn or push the yarn through to the other side. This is going to give the stocking cap that appearance of having like a rim, like if you were folding up a normal stocking cap. So it gives you that little edge there. So once you have everything pulled through, just kind of make sure all your little pieces of yarn are pulled through and straight. And then you want to make sure like these little ends where the loop is, I just kind of make sure that they're just tucked in underneath so that you can't see them. And making sure that they stay taut because you don't want them to be loose or to give gaps. So now everything looks really good. So now we're going to just take a little bit of polyfill, or you can use cotton balls. You don't need a lot, just a little bit to start, and you'll add more as you go. So I'm going to start out with like just about the size of 2 cotton balls maybe. And we're going to push this in, and it's just going to start forming the little puff at the top of the hat. And so then what you'll do is kind of take your fingers, and again, making sure all your pieces of yarn are kind of straight and kind of shape your hat. And then take one of the pieces of string that you had left over from wrapping around, and you're just going to go ahead and wrap it a couple times around. Try and make sure it's centered so you don't have a lopsided hat. And then you'll just go ahead and tie it. And make sure it's snug. And then I just wrap it around a couple more times. And then you'll just kind of, at the end, do one last knot. And I just also kind of check to make sure everything is looking straight and that you can't see any of the polyfill or the cotton from between. And we'll go ahead and knot this off. Okay, and then you can just add a little bit more of the polyfill. You don't want it all the way down. You want about halfway through so that your gnome beard is going to fit into here. So leave enough room for that yarn to go in. So now that you have your hat kind of made, now you're going to trim it and form it into your pom-pom ball. So you just kind of go ahead and shape it, cutting off any of the loose ends and giving it that pom-pom ball shape so you don't have any little stragglers. And just kind of fluff it as you go. And once you're happy with how it looks and you don't have any like little stragglers going on, then your hat's pretty much done, and you're going to set this to the side. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is the beard. So again, I'm taking what would equal about my 6 to 7 inch, or actually about 7 inches, and I'm going to use this to wrap my white yarn around. And as you can see, this is just old yarn that I had in the house, so nothing special. And then to kind of help it wrap, I go and just take a little painter's tape and to hold it in place to get started. And we're going to wrap this again about 50 times so that you have a nice good full beard. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this off camera, and I will be back in a moment and we will continue with making our beard. Be right back. Okay, so now that we have it all wrapped around, it's about 45. I ran out of yarn, so this should be more than enough to do the beard. I'm just going to go ahead and fold it so that it has a loop. I'm using just a dollar store mat, so it easily folds in half and allows me to be able to kind of divide it. Now I do need a hunk of white, so I'm just going to grab a piece of this over here, and we are going to go ahead and tie this in half. So what I do is kind of lay it on my mat, and I'm looking at, there's 3 inches on this side, 3 inches on this side, and we're just going to go ahead and tie it in half. Now if you want, you could also grab like a small little rubber band and use that to temporarily hold it in place. But the idea is to try and get it as centered as possible. So like right there. So you have an even amount on each side of your beard. And then once you have it divided in half, you're going to pull it tight and then tie it into your knot. And I'm just going to flip it over and tie it one more time on the other side. So now that you have it divided in half and tied, this is making up the 2 halves of the beard. Now what you need to do is cut the loops. So when you cut them, you're going to pull it taut so that you kind of get an even cut for the loops, but don't pull it too much that you're pulling it from the other side. You just want it taut enough that you can cut the loop in half. And you're going to do this on both sides of your beard, making sure to get all of your loops. And usually what I do is after I get done, I'll run my fingers through it just to make sure that I have all the loops cut. And looks like I got all of them on that side. None of them are missing, so we're going to go ahead and turn it over, and then we'll get this side. All right. And I think we have all of our loops here too. So now we're going to go ahead and set this aside for 1 second. The next thing we need to do is we need to take our hat, and we are going to need to make our holder to hang our ornament on the tree. So I'm just taking about, maybe 15 inches-ish. And I'm just going to cut this is just some twine that I have. I'm going to cut that off. And then I have from my crocheting, you can get these at the hobby stores with the kits. It's just a little crochet needle. It's got the larger eye on it so that you can feed this through. And once I have it on my needle with all the little strangles threads here, come on, there we go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to feed this through the hat. So you're going to go through the center of your hat here, and you want it to come out the pom-pom ball, but have it to where it's in the circle of what you tied. So it should come straight out the center. And then usually what I like to do is decide what I want the front of my hat to be. And I'm going to kind of do it so that the loop comes back through the hat so that the loop is open for the part of the hat that I like. It's going to come back through here. And I'm leaving my finger in the loop so that I don't pull it back through the hat. And then you just go ahead and take the loop off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm pulling it to the size that I think I want my loop to be so I can get it over my tree branches. And once I have it where I like it, then I'm just going to go ahead and knot the inside. Come on. I'm doing it towards the end because then I can pull up the slack to the top. So I just have a nice size bigger knot, and now I'm going to pull my loop up, and I'm secure. So I have a pretty good loop going. And I just want to make sure I don't have any of the fill showing. So now this is going to be the front of my hat, how it opens up. I'm going to add a little bit more polyfill to it now that I have my loop run in there. Fill it up the rest of the way. And now we're going to add our beard. So this is the part of the project that involves the hot glue gun. So if you have little people helping you out, moms, you know, are going to want to, or dads are going to want to do this part of it. So we're going to take the two halves, folding it in half, kind of like butterfly wings, and we are going to have it, so this is where you tied it. This is where you're going to add just a little bit of glue to start out with, just to tack it in place. Come on. Sometimes it wants to come like crazy, and other times it's going slow. All right, now that I have the glue on there, now I'm just going to go ahead and stick the hat with the direction that I want right on top, and I'm going to hold it for a minute and let that glue adhere to the polyfill on the inside. And what I kind of do is take my thumb to the center and kind of push up. We'll add a little bit more glue as we go just to hold it in place, but this is just to get us started. So now I'm going to gently go and lay it out, and I want to find where I want my nose to be. All right, so here's where the two sections kind of meet together. And I'm going to grab one of my larger wood beads. These were just beads that I got at Hobby Lobby. And this is a multi-pack, but you know, about like an 8mm size bead is what you're looking for. And we're just going to take, again, a little dollop of glue right there in the center. And you're going to take it so that the whole of the bead is to either side, and you're going to place it in. And then you're going to kind of shove the bead up to where it's a little bit under the brim. There we go. So you can see the nose peeking out. We'll let it set for a second, and then we're going to add more glue around it. So here you can see where it's kind of gapping. So we're just going to run a bead of glue all the way around the edge of the hat. And we're just going to push it up so that the yarn kind of sticks and seals to the edge of the brim. I'm going to add a little bit more here. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap. Just watch your fingers. And got a little gap over here. And we'll just kind of push that up again. Okay, now that we have it kind of glued in place, now we're going to kind of lay it out and make sure your beard is kind of, comb it out kind of. We want our gnome to be cute. So we're going to start by trimming it and giving it a little bit of a mustache. So we're going to go and take about 4 to 5 threads. And we're going to go from the nose down on an angle. And then we'll do the same on the other side, grabbing about 4 or 5 threads and going on an angle the other direction. So now you just kind of gave him a little bit of a mustache. And then the last thing we're going to do with his beard is we're going to trim off any of the stragglers and kind of give him a better haircut. So we're just going to go, and I fanned it out, and we're just going to kind of go around and give him a little bit of a trim so that it's a little bit even going around and we don't have any little stragglers. And that is your gnome. Now you can leave it at this if you wanted. I'll add a little bit more glue right here. So you could end it right there if you wanted, or I've been putting a little bit of an embellishment on. So let me go ahead, I'm gonna throw these away. And again, at Hobby Lobby, I just grabbed some little ornaments. So we're just gonna go ahead and put a little piece of holly on his hat. And there you go. We have our little Christmas gnome. These would be really cute on the tree as ornaments, or I could see where you could make a whole bunch of them and just kind of line them up on like garland maybe, or something like that. Or like I said, I thought it would be cute to add to the top of Christmas presents as a little added little gift. And again, just using, you know, some craft stuff that you have around your house. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's a little bit different for my channel than my normal scrapbooking stuff, but we are Kristen Crafts and we do like to do other stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again on my channel for another process video doing something crafty. Have a great day, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.